Welcome to a Milk Market Tidbit for the July Classic Component numbers that the USDA released yesterday. This is Dr. Lawrence Jones with Farm Institute, and I'm recording this on Thursday afternoon, August the 1st. We always start out with the base Class 1 price because we get that a month earlier than everything else, and that actually came up about $1.03 this time. And next month's Class 1 base class is going to be 21.32, so that's even going to come up a little bit further. One most people are kind of focusing on is Class 3. That came in at 19.79. That was down about 8 cents. But look at where we were last January, down in the 15s, and so we're much, much better than that. Right now, it looks like it's going to go up and then kind of peak out in September, October kind of time frame. But the fundamentals might actually drive this up just a little bit. So let's look at this Class 3 contract just a little bit more. What I always ask is, if we would have put our position on this 6 months earlier, how would that have turned out? And it would not have been so good because it actually came up $1.73. And that's what we call the carry in the market. How does it change over a 6-month period? If we kind of look, we were in a bear market here for quite a while. I mean, all these, if you made a position 6 months out, it was always going to go down. But for the last 3 months, we've been in what I call the bull market, and that's increasing over time. But with that came a bunch of emotion. And so we've got our emotion index down here, which is basically the standard deviation of this, last period just before it closes. And the question is, does it come into glide path nicely, or does it kind of gyrate all over? Good example is last July when we had some significant changes in milk prices, but we're in 3 months here of pretty high emotion, but it does seem to be coming down, and the preliminary data for August would suggest it's going to come down just a little bit more. Fat prices were $3.57, very good fat, much higher than we were last in January at $2.98. But off of the high that we had, $3.71 back in about October. And these seem to be going to kind of stabilize out with the butter prices and maybe start falling off, next year sometime. Just as an aside, because we just got this data yesterday, which was the fat percentage. Fat has been growing at about 1.16% per year, and it's very seasonal, and it's just a tremendous upward trend. And actually, our June numbers, that's all we have at this point, came in pretty close to what we expected, but it's considered an outlier off of that trend line because it is so high. Protein prices came down just a little bit to $1.95. We were in the 80 cents here back in April or so. Much higher back in August, we were $2.30, but we're going to hang in this $2 plus or minus probably 10 cents, looks like here for quite a while. Other solids is the one that we've really got to keep an eye on. It came up 2 cents. Now, 2 cents on 26 cents is a huge amount. Our high was 29 back here in March. Our low was only 6 cents. So this is just kind of came up and then stabilized, and it looks like it's going to just really kind of go rocketing up here. But let's look at this. 6 cents to 26 cents for easy math is 20 cents. And it's about 6 cents a point for other solids. So let's multiply that by 6. So that's $1.20 that's added to the Class 3 price from clear back in August. Return to Class 4, it was 21.08. That actually came up about 58 cents. Pretty close to our high at 21.49. And this is just going to remain, reasonably strong with butter prices remaining reasonably strong. Non-fat dry milk's been up here recently. Those are the two that make up Class 4. So I don't see $24 Class 4, and I don't see $19 Class 4. So I think we're going to be in that 21.50 plus or minus 50 cents, for the next few months. And if we just kind of plot these out, this Class 3 has come down a fair amount here in the last couple of days. But there's still quite a bit of difference between 3 and 4. And anytime there's more than 75 cents, you're going to depool the higher one. But it looks like Class 4 is going to be higher than Class 3, at least through the middle of next year. With these numbers, we can actually look at the 50-50 blend for the rest of the year. And right now I've got it about 1975. That's up $1.69 over last year. We've been at $1.50 plus or minus 25 cents most of the year. Looks like we're going to be at the higher end of that range. Right now we're at $1.69. And these might have a little bit of upward pressure on them depending upon the supply of milk. So we got the class component numbers and the egg prices this week. That pretty well takes care of this week. Next week we get our first global dairy trade auction of August. And then we're not going to have really anything huge until we get the milk production report on the 21st. But I'll get you another milk market tidbit when we get the dairy products report next Monday.